So you focus on leadership because you're a leadership consultant, you're a business strategist, you do all these things with leaders. Is that what your doctorate is in?
So yes, my doctorate is in leadership studies with a focus in organizational development and management and adult learning.
Did you know that you wanted to work with people as a consultant before you got that doctorate? Or like, how did you even decide? Were you like, oh, that looks fun?
Not at all. And it's so without making it a long story, when I went and got my bachelor's in psychology and
Mhm,
criminal justice,
mhm,
I knew I didn't want to practice psychology.
mm,
Originally, I wanted to go to law school.
mm,
But then I realized how saturated the law field was back then, which is probably the same now. They were looking for, actually, a lot of lawyers were practicing as paralegals. They weren't even practicing lawyers.
wow.
And right. And I was just like, okay, morally and ethically, some of the things that I know lawyers have to abide by, I knew I couldn't do it. So I literally studied for the LSAT, took the practice
Mhm.
courses, registered for the GRE. Like, I mean, literally, I went through all these weeks of going to
You're like,
conference, sitting in these
skip.
classes.
Let me go the other way. No.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And so, literally, when I was supposed to be registering for the LSAT, registered for the GRE, passed the first time, and then I went and got my master's in IO psychology.
Mhm.
And that's what really drove me into the leadership field. Like, IO psychology is like business psychology,
Yeah.
and not realizing that that was connected to like the psychic or surveys that they give for businesses and stuff
Mm,
like that. So when
mhm.
I put that connection together, I was like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then when I got into the leadership field, when I got into the leadership program, I actually feel like I learned more of what I know and grew my passion
Mm,
outside of school.
mhm, mhm.
So, in school, they give you the formal
Oh, yeah.
constructs, you review
Mhm.
the literature, but you
Yeah.
don't really practice the application of it.
That's true.
And so, when I read the books and stuff, like I read Dr. Tima's Homecoming.
Mm.
I'm finishing up TD Jakes, his latest book. What is it called? Disruptive Thinking. Those books that put it into perspective for
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and put it into application for you
Right.
really is what made me dial in to wanting to be a leadership development strategist and
Oh, I love that.
consultant.
Oh, I love that.
So,
And so when you were getting
yeah,
your doctorate and you were, so what you're saying is that the things that you were studying, because you can go in any direction, right? Like
right,
studying leadership, you can go any direction you want to. You can
right.
work primarily in one organization, but you said,
Hmm.
no, actually, I really love these concepts and I want to work with many people as a consultant. Is that kind of how that happened?
Kind of like originally, I was looking for more like HRBP roles, so
Mm,
human
mhm.
resources business partner roles. I did multiple interviews for executive directors for nonprofits. Um, I was looking in something in leadership inside of an organization
Ah,
originally, but then when I got into that space, and
mhm.
I'm pretty sure we'll talk about this,
Yeah.
um, they don't necessarily, I don't meet the aesthetic
Don't
for what they're looking for.
sure.
A lot of the times I was not only a lot of times I was the only Black woman in the room.